cooking is capricious, extravagant, and occasionally disastrous, but he likes to pull his weight. Tall and wide-shouldered in his navy Aran jersey, unravelling at the cuffs and patched at the elbows, his thick thatch of badger-streaked hair falling forward as he bends to take the plates out of the bottom oven of the Aga, he looks like an amiable bear. Ed's approach to life is simple, unhurried. He hates fuss or extravagant emotion, and believes himself to be inadequate in fulfilling people's expectations of him. The women who are drawn to his innate kindness, his gentleness, grow irritated by his inability to commit. He went straight to a major publishing house from university and stayed there until his early retirement, but always weekending here at Mellinponds. He cherished his authors, naturalists, travellers, gardeners, enjoyed launch parties and lunches, but in his middle 50s, with his childless marriage drifting into an amicable divorce, he decided to move back to Cornwall. His own book, published 2 years later, Wild Birds of the Peninsula, was an astonishing success, partly attributed to his charming ink drawings and beautiful photographs. Wild Birds of the Cornish Cliffs and Coasts followed, and now he is planning Wild Birds of the Cornish Inland Lakes. Colliford, Crowdy, Sibley Black. To his regret, their own lake is too small to harbour more than a few wild duck, too domestic to be home to tufted or great-crested grebe. Frogs in plenty come to carouse in the early spring, slipping and sliding, clasping and clambering in the shallows, their mating songs echoing eerily in the night. Ed lifts out the warmed plates from the lower oven. Billa and he were always happiest here at Mellinponds, always glad to leave the big townhouse in Truro at the beginning of the summer holidays. He can remember the excitement of heading out of the city with their father driving the big rover, their mother beside him, and he and Billa packed into the back with their favourite toys and books. Mellinponds. Built as a mill in 1710, extended and converted into a butter factory by a cooperative of local farmers in 1870. Their branch of the St. Enadoc family made its wealth from mining, and great-grandfather bought this piece of land with its mine, now defunct, the mill and some cottages, back in the 1870s. In 1939, the butter factory closed when the men were called up for war, and it lay derelict until Harry St. Enadoc decided to convert it. Mellinponds was his post-war project. He'd had a bad war, and afterwards took very little interest in the family business, passing more responsibility to his fellow directors, resigning from the boards of the great mining companies, until, at last, he moved his family out of Truro and settled in this quiet valley. He lived only 6 years here before he died. It's odd, thinks Ed, that though his father lived here for such a short time, his influence is still so strongly present in the butter factory. It was his idea to use the old millstone as a hearthstone beneath a granite chimney breast, which takes up one whole corner of the hall from where it is possible to look up and up, past the galleried landing to the massive black beams in the roof. The great window facing down the valley was his idea too. The recess, cut into the thick granite walls, is big and deep enough to take 2 armchairs. It was he who named the old butter factory Mellinponds, the mill on the bridge. Ed places the dish beside the plates on the huge slate kitchen table, on which the butter was once patted into blocks, glancing up as Billa comes in. "That looks good," she says appreciatively. The kitchen is warm and full of delicious smells. Miles Davis is playing "I'll Remember April," whilst Ed's Newfoundland, the colour of tobacco and called Bear because as a puppy he looked like a brown bear cub, sleeps peacefully on an ancient sagging sofa beneath the window. Keeping her eyes resolutely away from the mess Ed will have made at the business end of the kitchen, Billa sits down at the table. The huge dog raises his head, checks her arrival and slumps down again.